Welcome to this week's episode of the Agent Playbook. And this week, I'm honored to have 4 guest speakers today from the marketing department. And we're going to talk everything social media marketing, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. We're going to discuss that and why that's important in your business. Stay tuned and like and subscribe. Okay. And good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm just trying to find everything online so that I can. Oh, now I can hear myself in delay. Who's got the delay going through the mics?
It was me. I fixed it.
Okay. Gotcha. So this is what we call Technology 101, everyone. We get all these gadgets. We try to put them together to make them work. And when they work seamlessly, you on the other end see perfection. But when they don't, you on the other end hear and see, what would you call it, chaos?
Just the inner workings.
The inner workings. Yes. Is this how it's supposed to be? All right. Give me 1 second. I'm still just trying to find the page before we get started here. There we go.
Make sure you go to Agent Playbook,
That's where I'm
which is
going.
available on YouTube and Instagram.
Oh, self-promotion. I love it, Nathan. I love it. Okay, blow this bad boy up, and boom, and bam. All right. Kenny, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Lisa.
Hopefully Lisa hears us now.
Yeah, Lisa says we have no sound.
Before we turned it on.
Good morning, Fran. Good morning, everybody. Do me a favor, share, like, comment, put more information in here. It helps with the algorithm. And
Do we have something to give away for one person who shares today?
for the one person who shares?
For one lucky sharer?
For one lucky sharer. Where are my extensions on this thing? Did we order those things? This feels weird with it's pulling my headphones. So anyway, we're trying new technology. You see everybody with headphones on. What else are we seeing? What other new things did we get?
Well, extenders are in the mail.
Extenders are in the mail. Yes.
Headphones make our audio sound lovely.
There we go. So hopefully everybody is hearing this okay. And so, yeah, what's the giveaway? Amazon card.
Sure.
Everybody could use that.
$500?
Nathan is giving away 500 of his dollars for you guys to share this. So,
Can you turn down my audio?
first of all, if you want to take Nathan's $500, please share and like. Let's do a share and a comment in the thing. You know what? Put in the comment, Nathan is awesome. And we will pick a winner at the end of the day. So, those of you that are joining us late, you will say, why is Nathan so awesome? And now I missed out. So we're not going to do $500, but let's do $50. Let's do a $50 giveaway on Amazon. Nathan said, wow, he didn't think I was going to go that high.
I mean, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good. All right. Well, it's all good. So we'll see. Whatever you guys buy, share it with Nathan and I. So good morning, everybody. Happy Friday.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning.
All right.
Good morning.
Sweet. So we have a different mic on the end. I'm all confused here.
We're sharing mics today.
Okay, sweet.
We had to improvise.
Got it. So, all right. So we're going to get started. First of all, I want to introduce everybody who's online here. And let's start with blue hair on the end. That was the only thing I can think of because I didn't want to say right to left. I don't know what people are seeing on their side, what their right, what their left is. So Miss Chantel, introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Chantel. I'm rather new to the marketing department. I've been here for, I think, about a month now.
Okay,
So, yeah.
sweet. And tell me about the blue hair.
Well,
I personally like it.
I love to be vibrant.
Okay.
So I like to express myself through my hair.
All right, sweet. How often do you have to dye that?
You know, I'm trying something new. So this one's lasted a little bit longer. It's actually lasted me, I think, about a month and a half now. So
okay.
usually I have to do it like every month.
Okay,
So this one is pretty good.
good deal.
Yeah, so.
And Miss Liz.
Hello there. Yes, I'm new to the marketing department as well. This is my first week, so this is the end of my first week now. I'm really excited to be here. Not used to being on camera, so this is a new experience for me, but it's fun. I'm excited to be here. So, yeah.
Sweet. So, student at Cal State Fullerton right now?
Yeah, so I'm a graphic design student, and in my final semester this semester, hopefully it all works out that way. But you never know with the school system. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm in my last semester studying graphic design, so it's really exciting to be here in the marketing department, getting to make new designs for people and kind of just showing my artistic side and how I can, really provide that for people.
It is a pleasure to have you, and we are enjoying both Chantel and Liz. Welcome them to the marketing department, and I'm excited to see some. Actually, I've already seen some of the content and things that they're putting together and what is coming out, and I'm very, very pleased and happy about that. So, awesome. Daniel,
Hello.
is that all
going
you have
on?
to say? I didn't think so.
I hope most of you know me. I've been here for a while. I'm just excited to be here today.
All
Talk
right.
about some stuff and ideas, some things that people haven't thought about, hopefully.
All right.
Inspire.
Good deal. All right. And Mr. Nathan?
Hi, I'm Nathan.
It's
I'm
good.
just kidding. Hopefully you guys know me too. Smita just came in the other day and she's like, "Hey, nice to meet you. Are you also named Daniel?" And I was like, "No." I think she's still expecting there to be Daniel Marilettos and Daniel Withall.
Okay.
But hi, everybody.
All right.
Oh, also, don't just put Nathan is awesome. You have to share the live to be eligible for the gift card, right?
There we
Yeah,
go.
share it
Yes.
to your
So
pages.
you want to share it to your page or share it to another group that you're a part of.
There's a share button at the bottom.
Yes. And I am seeing some comments in here. Nathan is awesome. Nathan is awesome. Yes. There we go. So let's get started. I want to talk about marketing, and my goal today was to kind of extract, hopefully, some information from you guys that would be useful to the real estate community that's out there with regard to marketing, and it can go in any direction you guys want. As we get started, we'll just kind of see where what's going on here and what happens. So for those of you guys out there, if you guys do have a comment or a question or something that you'd like us to address, drop it in the comments or in the chat there, and we will make sure that we address it.
Janice, her name is Liz.
Okay. So I just saw that. Thank you. So first question, and I'm going to start with Liz, and my question is a simple one. Social media, very important right now. Your favorite platform and why?
My favorite platform would probably have to be Instagram, just because I'm a very visual person, and it's just so easy to share and connect with other people on Instagram. And I love Instagram stories and reels. That's probably the one I spend most of my time on, because I love just scrolling through it. And then the Explore page is it's all for you. It's all catered to you, so it's easy to just kind of go through it and just kind of I do waste a lot of time on Instagram, probably out of all of them. But
Okay.
yeah, that's my favorite.
All right. Chantel, same question.
Liz stole my answer.
Okay.
I was going to say Instagram as well. I think it's just very easy to connect. Basically the same thing, right? I get a lot of inspiration from Instagram. So anytime that I'm trying to find something, if I'm working on an art project or anything like that, I think it's really easy to search and to just get a overall view of kind of what people are posting to kind of, draw inspiration for creating certain things. So very easy to use and just easy to look at, I guess.
Okay. Sweet. Daniel.
So you know that I've always been a huge Instagram advocate, but I've been since converted.
Uh-oh.
I think that YouTube is one of the best platforms out there, especially now with all the stuff that YouTube is trying to push out. And it's been kind of fun back in the marketing department. We've been trying to go a little video crazy. So it's been interesting trying to see how artsy we can get and how interesting we can make things while still making them relevant and interesting. And I get stuck on loops where I can just go through videos and video after video, finding new topics and seeing what other people are doing out there. So it's probably going to be YouTube now.
All right. Nathan.
I think the dark horse right now that nobody talks about is LinkedIn. LinkedIn's cool because you can grow your audience just by connecting with people, and most of the time people will just connect back. You don't have to wait and hope that your content gets more eyeballs. You can just connect with the click of a button. And also, eyeballs on LinkedIn have a lot more money in general. So
It's a valid point.
yeah.
So
If you can get 100 people on LinkedIn that are local professionals to see your post or your virtual open, it's a lot more valuable than just 100 random views on Instagram or some other platform.
Yeah, LinkedIn has been making some big changes lately.
they've made some huge changes, and you know, Nathan was part of. It was like a year ago, year and a half ago. We really started a campaign hard, and we pushed hard for, I want to say, 12 months, and it was to grow LinkedIn. Specifically just LinkedIn. We were running posts on a daily basis. We were making sure we were trying to connect with people, and we ended up getting over, I think we're like at 11,000 connections now.
And it's not like we were doing anything super special. It was just putting in the little time to connect with people.
Yeah, a little bit of time and consistency, which is pretty much all of the platforms. But you know, one of the things, you know, Nathan brings up a very valid point with regard to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, owned by Microsoft, they're trying to get in the social media game. And so by trying to get into the social media game, they have opened up their algorithm is probably the freest with regard to your content going out there, being pushed and being seen by the most people in general. Obviously with Instagram right now and Reels and kind of what they're doing, and YouTube with Shorts and what they're doing, those are exceptions within the platforms. But overall, LinkedIn has really opened up their algorithm that anything that you post on there it's organically getting a bunch of eyeballs.
Okay.
Now, the flip side of that is LinkedIn is probably one of the more expensive ones for running
Yes,
advertising. So kind of a caveat there that if you want to be running ads on LinkedIn to try to convert, that's probably one of your more pricey.
It can be more pricey, but also it can be more valuable. Like it can be worth it. So if you're trying to target like luxury buyers or sellers, like on LinkedIn, you're going to spend double what you'd spend on other platforms per view or per click. But like the amount of money people have on LinkedIn will be, you know, a lot higher. So there's more money available.
Okay. So this leads me to my next question, and anybody can jump in here and answer with what your thoughts are or what you know about it, what you don't know. But advertising on social media, big news from everywhere, with Apple kind of controlling the information out there, and we're getting, you know, NAR has put out information about making sure that we're fair housing advertisement and things like that. It's getting more and more difficult to get eyeballs on things because people are using different mechanisms. It used to be as simple as ad blocks on your computer. Now it's kind of like everywhere. So how do you see that affecting the social media world, the marketing world, kind of what's happening out there? Because digital marketing is a very important thing that's
Right.
been out there, but we're getting some more restrictions, and it's becoming more and more restrictive.
That it is. I would say one of the ways to kind of not necessarily overcome that, but if you're looking at social media from the perspective of gaining a quick eye on your property and gaining notoriety, you're kind of missing part of the other part of social media too. So I always tell people, kind of engaging more with people, you're going to get more quality out of there.
Right.
So as far as running ads, you know, continue doing what you're doing, but when you do get those eyeballs and you do get those people that are commenting and liking, actually, you know, engaging with that person, seeing what they're looking for, seeing how you can help them, will kind of better serve you. Just being more social with them, because chances are, if they're commenting and liking on your post, they're very serious about, you know, the property or whatever you're trying to, you as an agent, promoting yourself. So I would say that is one kind of thing I see missing a lot of the times, is kind of the social aspect and growing that. Because if you have, you know, 100 quality followers versus, you know, 100,000 people that do not engage with you whatsoever and just liked you because they saw an ad and they wanted you to follow them back or whatever,
Right.
you're kind of losing some of that quality interaction that could potentially end up with something.
So give me some examples of what you would say people can do to help engage and create that online presence of you know, give some specific examples of engaging.
Yeah, so it could be as simple as just watching someone's stories every day. So if you have a follower, the little bubbles at the top on Instagram, watching their stories, and every now and again shooting them a comment about something relevant to what you're watching. So if they're really into gardening, be like, oh, I know this great nursery you'd probably be super interested in. Or even something as simple as just going through comment chains. So a lot of people miss the whole comment chain thing. So a lot of interaction and engagement and growth will come from actual commenting on people's posts. So when you see something, you like it, you have thoughts about it, you want to let them know something, engage with them. But not only that, also reading what other people are writing and responding to them as well.
Right.
Letting them become part of the conversation, basically.
So I'm hoping everybody's picking that up and understanding what Daniel's saying there. So in the content or in the comment chain, it's not just about commenting on actual things that
Right.
you're seeing, but it's also commenting or acknowledging other people's comments and what's in there. If they've written something thoughtful or something like that, adding to that and making sure that you're addressing those things
Yeah.
goes a long way.
Especially if it's like something local and it's something that you have
Right.
knowledge about, giving something that is knowledgeable and something they can use is, adding to the conversation.
Right.
Plus, it's not, even if you don't have something amazing to say, the fact that you're commenting on a thread rather than just the post itself will notify all the people in that thread and not just the poster.
Right.
So if you just want more people to see your page, if you reply to a thread where 3 people commented in it, well, there's now 3 people that are looking at your comment and might click on your page.
Right. And so I'm going to comment on the fact that Nathan used 3 people, and some people out there might say, oh, whip-de-doo-dah, so 3 people saw it. And I look at it as I just had the ability to have a conversation with 3 people, whether it be for 5 seconds or 4 or 5 minutes, depending on how that goes. But those are 3 conversations that we didn't have otherwise. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that part of it, that yes, sometimes at the social media, everybody thinks, well, hey, I want to go viral and I want to do this and I make my reel go to 25,000 people, and that's all fantastic and everything. But at the end of the day, when we talk about marketing and the philosophy of marketing and developing relationships, it's all about those connections that we're making one-on-one. It really goes back down to that belly-belly communications, and how do we start to connect? And that happens one person at a time. Doesn't happen 1 to 5,000 or 10,000. Right. Hey, our reels did great. 10,000 people saw it. Don't know who the 10,000 are, and not a lot of depth there.
It's a relationship sale, right?
Exactly.
And the social media is how you get people into your funnel, right? But it can be something as simple as a comment, right? To get them
Right.
into that funnel at the first step, right?
Exactly.
And I definitely think it's important to just establish your goals in social media. So, I mean, if your goal is to be that famous person on Instagram, but you don't want real leads or anything out of it, you just want to be the TikTok famous person.
Well-
I mean, just establish your goals. If that's what you want to get to in supplement of, X, Y, and Z, go ahead. But I think it's important to sit down and figure out what you actually want to get out of social media, and you can plan your goals from there.
And I'll piggyback on what Daniel's saying here and it is important to understand what your goal is, because for some people, it's about brand awareness.
Right.
Is my goal on social media to be brand awareness? Am I spending my dollars to create brand awareness within a community? Or am I spending my dollars to lead generate?
Right.
And a lot of times I see so often that people are trying to do both with the exact same thing. And, from a marketing standpoint perspective, you guys can probably better answer this. It's kind of like I'm trying to 2 birds with 1 stone, and it doesn't necessarily work.
Right.
Sometimes it can work, but it usually leads to mixed messages and poor results here and here, instead of good results with brand recognition if that's the direction you're going, or good results with lead generation if that's where you're going.
Absolutely.
Content and ads are different, very different
Exactly.
between the 2 different types of campaigns.
Exactly. So 2 ladies on the end, very quiet. So I'm going to ask this question specifically. Liz, this question is specifically for you. So you are going on your final year of school, specifically for marketing. So I want to know, what do they teach you in marketing from a school when we talk about book smart and we talk about street smart. So we've got somebody here that's, I'm going to say book smart right now, trying to learn some street smarts. What are the practical things that are taught that we should be looking for in general when we're talking about marketing and things of that nature?
Yeah, so my major is actually in graphic design.
Okay.
So it is a bit separate from marketing. So that's still kind of like a side that I'm learning, but it does definitely correlate with marketing. Like as a graphic designer, you have to be able to, market to certain audiences. And I mean, I think that's a big thing about marketing is just knowing your audience. And that's probably, like you said, book smart versus street smart, something you learn more on the job. And in school, it's more just about like honing your like more technical skills and being able to just create things for for a client or for an audience. So as a graphic designer, I have to be able to identify that audience, and it's more about like creative problem solving and solving like what that client wants and what they need. So
Okay. So follow-up question to that. With regards to graphic design, how important is graphic design in getting your message across? And when I say how important, it can be something, how important is it to have is there such thing as contrast and right color schemes, bad color schemes, this and that, trying to create emotion, not create an emotion? Are there little things that play into all of that
Yeah.
that
yeah, definitely
have an effect on the subconscious that that's where I want to dive deep into
Yeah.
with that question.
No, definitely. I mean, it's really about like creating a brand for yourself. So, you want to be consistent in what you're putting out there, because it's like you're creating your like personality and your brand when you're posting like to social media. And people connect with that. So if someone sees a post by you and then they see another post that's like designed completely different colors, different, fonts, different everything, it's like they don't make that connection anymore. So just using that, using your brand to just like have a consistent color palette, consistent fonts is very important. And then like, colors are always important to know, and that's also about knowing your audience is just who you're marketing to is very important, because, a younger audience might, feel differently than an older audience. So there's a lot that goes into it.
So I have one more follow-up question. Let's say I'm new into the industry and I want to start to create a brand awareness. Is it possible that one of my strategies would be to find my competitor and see what they're doing, and then kind of piggybacking off of that to kind of steal some of that brand awareness?
Yeah, definitely. And that's an important part of design as well, is that you want to be able to research your competitors and just see what is being done already. Because you also do want to, be different from people. You don't want to look like everyone else.
Right.
So you can see what's been done. You can like whenever I do projects, I always like to research like using Pinterest or just Google and looking up the different companies that I might know of, and then ones that I don't. So research is very important, and that's a big part of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Chantel, the audience has asked a couple of questions in here, and I'm going to turn them towards you. So, they asked a question about Twitter, which I know you're not.
I'm not a huge proponent of Twitter. I don't know a lot about Twitter. I haven't really used it much, but
the other question came about TikTok.
Also, Reddit is in there.
yeah,
saw
and Reddit is in there.
Okay.
So TikTok, I think TikTok, especially whenever you're talking about real estate, I haven't seen, I've seen some things about real estate in TikTok, but it seems something that's a little bit untouched on TikTok. It could be something that is potentially like somebody hasn't just found the niche and like made it successful. So I think there's still like a way to build on that, and it's just about finding what works in that industry on TikTok. So I think it's a little bit undiscovered still.
Very much.
But I think it could be targeted if you found the right way to do that. Whether that's, I know that there's, just recently there was somebody who went viral for just going to people that have high dollar houses and just asking, what do you do for a living? And like, how did you get here? And he goes on tours of their houses and stuff like that. So it's kind of getting in, like starting to like break into that side of TikTok. But I think it's a little bit different because like there's not really much of an algorithm or I don't exactly know how it works because it's like anything can just blow up overnight on TikTok
Right.
where, Instagram, things like that is all about shares and whatnot. It's just you could post something completely random and it blows up. So it's definitely something that I think people should start looking into, just not being afraid of trying things, right? Like it's all about experimenting and being consistent, I think is a huge thing. And on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, anything is, if you want to make it work and you want to try TikTok and get it to work, it's about consistency. So, it's definitely something to try out, and just staying consistent with what you're doing, I think is important.
So we'll hear the word consistency probably
Yeah.
A lot.
often.
Yes, being consistent.
Consistently, you might say.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and my 2 cents on TikTok is I don't see it being used effectively yet in the real estate world.
Yeah.
There's several different reasons. TikTok, I remember the first time I got introduced to TikTok, I was in a property doing an inspection, and the kid couldn't have been more than 8 years old, and he kept turning on his phone and singing songs to stuff and then just giggling, and I'm all like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
So part of it is demographics, our demographics that are currently using TikTok. Now, in all fairness, Facebook started off the same way. Instagram really started off the same way. And TikTok, I will assume that the older generations, my generation, will eventually get in there and dominate it. And then the youth will go somewhere else because that's normally how it works. But really what I'm seeing it being used for right now is helping to build other platforms. I'm seeing a lot of people trying to develop TikTok to grow their Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the more effective ways that I'm seeing that's being done. But Nathan, you've got some experience with Reddit, if I'm not mistaken. What's your thoughts on Reddit?
I think if you don't know what Reddit is, probably shouldn't try to start marketing yourself on Reddit. So that's the first thing.
Well, let's give a quick, what is Reddit?
It's basically the world's biggest online message board.
Okay.
There's little communities for anything you can think of. So snowboarding, basketball, stock trading, anything you can think of. There's a message board for it, and there's people talking, posting things. So it can be a really huge marketing opportunity. Like if you post a YouTube video on there and people really like it and it's in the right message board, that could be 1 million views to your YouTube video.
Okay.
People there, though, are very sensitive to being marketed to. So I'll say that first. So if you understand kind of how Reddit works, you can get eyeballs on your stuff. There are like Orange County Reddits or real estate Reddits, things like that. But it's a bit of a more complex topic.
So what I'm hearing you say, one of the most important things I heard you say about Reddit is don't walk in there thinking you are going to be a marketing guru and try to advertise to that
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
It's very much you need to be adding value to
Okay.
a specific community, and if you're not, you're just posting your own stuff. You can get banned or shadow banned, so you won't show up anymore. I mean, if anybody wants to talk about Reddit marketing, it's something you can ask me about, but it's a bit more of a complex topic.
A lot of people come in searching for information, I think, more than anything. So if people are looking at OC real estate, it's usually them coming in asking questions about certain areas or things like that. They're not necessarily looking to be sold something.
Right. There's actually pretty popular just Orange County
Yeah.
Orange County Reddit, not real estate
yeah.
focused. But if you posted like a cool video about something in Orange County that provided real value to people that weren't looking for real estate in general, like that could bring views to your YouTube for sure. But you can't be sales focused there. You have to be a value adder.
Gotcha. So let me think of an example. So an example would be, how about a video that's being done on my 5 favorite trails in Orange County and why?
Even that, I think, is a bit of a
Push.
okay.
Okay.
If it's focused on you,
Okay.
hey, I'm Nestor. I want to show you 5 of my favorite trails.
Gotcha.
They might be like, oh man, this guy's trying to sell me something.
Gotcha.
But if you literally just walked through a really beautiful trail and you took a video and it was just hey, walking through
Okay.
X trail, that could get views and that could be good.
So less branding on the thing.
Yeah.
and
Very minimal.
Okay.
Like, are there any other trails in Orange County that you guys suggest, things like that, and kind of like then trying to get information from them, so it's like a conversation more than just
Gotcha.
yeah.
So it's more about displaying an experience.
Right.
So I had this experience on this particular trail, and this is what the experience
Yep.
was. If somebody finds value in it, great. If somebody doesn't,
And it's another thing that there's a lot of people that have been in the forums for a long time, and so they've posted for a long time, and so I feel like once you have kind of been in there a little bit longer, then you kind of build a reputation more so to where you can kind of get away with things a little bit more, and people will listen to what you're saying more as well.
okay.
So the way that it works is, on everything you post or comment on Reddit, people can put like an up or a down on whatever you put on Reddit, and then the total is calculated and shown on your profile.
Okay.
So if you're a
You get
person with
gold
a million
stars.
upvotes, well, then you have like a positive reputation, and people might just follow you because you're a good value adder on comment threads, and you can kind of get away with posting whatever you want, and it's going to do well. But you have to have a long history of being that value adder, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Instead of just going in and immediately trying to,
Sell.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I want to go back to YouTube because it's one of the things that's fascinating to me. Been working with the marketing department a little bit recently on pay-per-click, Google Ads, and things of that nature. And I'm not going to lie, that's still ununderstood by me. But what I am seeing is advertisement on videos and things of that nature. That's actually doing fairly well. I'm seeing it being able to, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I'm seeing the ability to be able to go super hyper local still, not having the internet get in the way, and being done for little to no money. Am I mistaken on that?
Nope. I think
Okay.
you're spot on that.
So, which is a big difference, and one of the concerns that it brings up to me, and I don't know if anybody has any insight on this, is so put a video in YouTube, and our goal is always hopefully to get views on that and organic views, via our tags and things of that nature. But if we start spending money on that, is YouTube actually saying, hey, I'm not going to help them organically because they're spending money, so why help them?
I don't think so. It's easy to be conspiratorial
Okay.
like that. As far as I know, no. But I think if you're looking for a lead gen, then you would do that. But you don't want to do ads to create that organic or self-sustaining viewership. It's like putting ads in your videos isn't going to get you to that organic growth phase.
Gotcha.
So
So what's
Yeah.
going to get me to that organic growth phase?
there are a lot of tactical things
Besides consistency,
besides
because
consistency.
we've already discussed that.
So Chantal and I were working on some sort of technical things on last week's podcast that we uploaded today.
Mm-hmm.
So I can give some kind of basic tips. This is all data driven. So like the biggest performing videos online, the thumbnail is what? It's a face. The face
Right.
is making some crazy face, whether it's surprised, happy, sad, and it's got to have a very simple, catchy tagline of text in the thumbnail. So last week it was like jumpstart your real estate business, and then
Right.
your face is zoomed in like that, really, really.
Oh, I got to see that.
Yep. So you guys can go to the Agent Playbook on YouTube to check out the last one as an example.
So so elaborate a little bit more on that and give me some, because I look at YouTube and I look at thumbnails all the time and I'm like, well, that's kind of obnoxious. It's a big giant. It's almost like I super zoomed into one of you guys's, and almost getting like, I don't know, can see more features than I guess I want to see. Like the new HD TVs now and everything. I'm like, wow, the actors don't look as
Right.
like they used to.
Yeah, that blur filter's gone.
Exactly. I kind of like the blur filter.
Well, the cream rises to the top, right? And if you're seeing it on YouTube, it's because it's the thing that shows up, and it shows up because it works.
So my question is there a fine line? Because I know as a real estate agent, and we do want to brand ourselves, but sometimes. So are you saying that too polished because that's the other thing I'm seeing is extremely polished thumbnails and things like that, which look beautiful and they're very pleasing to the eye and very attractive. And I see situations like that, but I also don't necessarily see as good a results. But is there a fine line where I can create some of that polishedness? Because quite honestly, the most successful ones I see is really just a true close-up with giant words next to it. And I get it works, but I just don't like it.
Sometimes bigger is better.
Okay.
Sometimes,
It is
especially
int-
on a small thumbnail.
It's
Yeah.
a good point because and valid because I spend 90% of my day in front of a computer screen. I'm assuming the majority of the people spend the majority of their time in front of that gadget in their pocket.
Right.
Okay, so that's a valid point that looks a lot different on the computer screen. It looks like, whoa, shrink please. But all right.
I do
So-
think it's interesting though, because especially on YouTube, I feel like those crazy thumbnails used to be, the term was clickbait, but I feel like it turned into the norm now, just because it's like human nature. You see something interesting and bright colors, and you want to click on it.
I mean, if you're marketing yourself and you're not using clickbait, you're not doing
You're
your
not doing
job.
it right. Yeah.
well, but there's right clickbait and there's wrong clickbait.
Well, there's there's like legitimate clickbait where like you're making them click on making them want to click on your links or your thumbnails, but you're not being misleading about it.
Correct, and that's an important thing that I think that everybody has to understand is that kind of like Reddit. If you're looking at clickbait on YouTube and you look at the image and when you click on it, it's giving you something completely different, you tend to piss the people off on the other end. That's where a lot of the thumbs down come from, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So if I made a video that was like how to sell your house in 5 seconds for $5 million, and they click on it, and it's like, oh, just call me today, and I'll get you that deal right away. It's like, well, that's not very accurate, right?
Right.
But if you show like kind of like a white paper, like how I sold this house for $5 million in one day, and it's like your face with like a bunch of money or something, like
Right.
that's clickbait, but it's not misleading, and it's good marketing.
Okay, all right. Tell me about shorts. Anybody?
They get a lot of views.
They do get a lot of views. It's YouTube's response to TikTok and Reels.
Okay.
So I mean,
I've tried it. I haven't gotten. I'm not getting a lot of. I'm having more
Get
success.
pretty good views.
I do
Yours.
okay, but I mean, when I compare it to, well, I guess if we're looking at things all in fairness, there's a lot of other things with regard to the algorithm. But when I compare it to Reels, Reels is probably doing tenfold, maybe
Oh.
15 or 20.
I thought you said Reels.
Yeah, Reels doing well. Shorts, yeah. When you were saying a lot of views, I was all like, which one is he looking at?
Yeah.
But
I feel like Reels, or not Reels, Shorts are still in the growing pains, kind of like Reels were in the beginning. So, in the beginning, when TikTok announced Reels in response to TikTok, they didn't really take off like crazy. It probably wasn't even until like a year or two in that people even started paying attention to them. So, I feel like we're still in that growth phase of Shorts. So, it's one of those things that if you want to grow crazy, stick with it, because I feel like at some point it's going to fully take off just like Reels did, and then those views are just gonna roll in basically, because you've been the one that's consistent there since the beginning.
Yeah, Instagram stories weren't very popular at first.
Yeah,
Right.
It just takes time. But
okay.
What I've noticed is the shorts. So TikTok and Instagram have kind of distributed the views in a way where like the average person can break in, right? Like you can just post one 30-second kind of no effort video and you can get 1,000, 1,500 views, right?
Right.
But YouTube is still making you work for it. If you just post whatever, they're not going to give you views just because you posted a short. They want you to prove through the algorithm that you're making good content.
Which I like that. I like that concept much better than random 1,000 people that have seen a video that I've put. If they've only seen one, because there's a lot of people out there on Instagram. So every time you get 1,000 views, if it's 1,000 different people, it's kind of whip-de-doo-dah.
Sure.
I had a question and I lost it. It'll come back to me. When I talk about marketing and for real estate, so often we break things into what we call old school and new school. I consider social media, I consider digital advertising, some of it new school, some of it's still old school. But tell me a little bit about what you guys and your thought process of how important it is to be in quote unquote new school. So, and I'll talk to Chantel and Liz first on this question. New school, digital marketing. How important is it? Why do you think it's important? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish?
I think that it's important because it helps establish like a reputation. So if somebody looks you up and you have nothing online to show for yourself at all, you're not going to have as much value as somebody else that is present online. And that's just kind of how things are moving, to where it's still okay to go to that old school stuff. But if you're really trying to build your brand and market to people, if somebody Googles you or looks you up on Instagram and you have even if you don't have a lot of followers, but it's like that consistency again. If you're posting consistently and you have something to show for yourself, you have at least some value there, instead of just not being on a platform at all, I guess.
So I'm gonna ask this question, and this question's for all of you guys. So first question: when was the last time you guys Googled something?
Probably
30 seconds
right
ago?
before the podcast.
Yeah.
When was the last time you Googled a person?
Probably an hour before the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same. Yeah.
Okay. So, and I'm bringing this to the audience's attention because we are fooling ourselves right now if we don't think that people do not Google us. Even,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they know us, they
Especially if they know you. They want to
Exactly.
find out more.
It's crazy, right? We're getting Googled all the time. And I think it's really important to understand. So let me ask you a follow-up question to this. And so, Liz, when you Google a person, what is it that you're looking for? And here's the first question. What is the thought process if there's nothing there?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, when I Google someone, it's usually because, like, you want to learn more about them, and it often depends on like what they offer. So like for a real estate agent, you want to see kind of what kind of they have to offer in terms of real estate. So when you look someone up and there isn't anything there, then it's like maybe they don't do a lot and they maybe don't have as much experience, or so I think it's really important that you have that online presence, especially living in this digital world that we live in. So it's definitely important.
Okay. So when we Google somebody and something the array of things come up, where do you guys tend to go first?
Reviews.
You go to reviews first.
Reviews,
Okay.
100%.
Okay, so if I'm Googling a person, some people were just Googling and they don't necessarily need to have reviews.
Oh,
But-
just a person in general in
Yeah.
your life that you've Googled?
yeah.
It's just sort of like a digging thing.
Okay.
Like you're not looking for something specific, but like,
No, but my question is your first page fills up with, okay, so here's Nathan's LinkedIn, here's Nathan on Facebook, here's Nathan on Yelp, here's Nathan on Google on the box on the side. Which one of those are you guys looking at first? Where do you tend to look at first to try to get a feel for who the person is?
Facebook, probably.
Facebook, okay. Liz?
Yeah, Facebook. For me, like it depends on what I'm looking at. But
Okay.
like recently, I was looking up professors because
Okay.
I'm signing up for classes, and I found this one professor. He's not on Rate My Professors or anything, so I'm like, oh, he must be new. But I think I had found him because he has a portfolio website, and so it has a whole nother layer of like seeing his work, and so being able to find him that way was really interesting.
Okay. Daniel?
If I'm looking for someone in a professional setting, usually when I type in their name, I'll see if Facebook and LinkedIn comes up first.
Okay.
And if I'm just kind of Googling someone to try and figure them out and I don't really know that much about them, I'm kind of an oddball and I will search by images.
Okay.
I want to see who the person is, what they look like, if I've met them before. The images kind of link to all the pages that you're going to have. So if you have a picture on LinkedIn, Facebook, your website, all of those things will pop up.
Gotcha.
So it kind of gives me like a roadmap of where I can actually find who this person actually is.
Okay. Nathan?
I think if this is a person that has reviews online, like reviews are always the first thing I look at.
Okay.
So real estate agents, like a lot of people my age, reviews.
Okay. So for the audience out there, the audience always hates reviews because if you do anything long enough, you will get a bad review or two or three or four or five. and especially in our industry, one of the things, a lot of times bad reviews come from the other side, somebody that you didn't even represent or somebody that you weren't associated with. But my question, since you guys all look at reviews, are bad reviews bad?
That's actually what I searched by first.
Okay.
Yeah, they're bad. But like people understand there's going to be some level of bad reviews. It's more so, are you being proactive and asking for the good review? And are you commenting and replying to the negative reviews in a professional manner?
Okay. So let me ask the question this way. If you go look someone up and they have 1,000 reviews and they're all 5 stars and have no bad reviews, what is your thought process?
Fake.
Okay.
Fake.
See, he
Not
used
real.
nice words.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going with BS, right?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, you should have some bad reviews.
Yes.
If you've been in the business and been doing things long enough, there should be people that you just didn't connect with or something happened. But to Nathan's point, he brought up a very valid point. It's how you respond or how you act, or because that's really what you're looking for. Daniel, so you said you start with bad reviews and looking at those. So when you start with bad reviews and looking at them, exactly are you looking for what they wrote? Or are you looking for the response? What is it that you're looking for?
So I'm more looking for like the situations, because usually a lot of the bad reviews come from bad situations. They're not always necessarily that the person did something wrong. It's just a situation that you couldn't help. So I kind of like to weigh the pros and cons when I'm reading the negative. So
Okay.
is it something that actually the person did and that ruined this deal or whatever it may be, or is it someone who just had a misunderstanding, or there was some clerical error somewhere that they just it wasn't necessarily this person's fault, but it's just like the way the cookie crumbled.
Okay.
So I look for that, and then I also look for how the person responded.
Okay.
Because if they kind of brush it off like it's no big deal, that doesn't read well. Also.
Okay.
And then a lot of times too, bad reviews are mistaken. So I've seen bad reviews where they left a review for someone and it wasn't even for that person.
Yep.
So I usually go there first just to kind of see what the experiences are, especially like when it comes to real estate and housing. Like when you look up apartment complexes, all people complain about is the apartment complex.
Right.
But once you start reading why they're upset, it's like, well, that's not really the apartment's fault. That's more your fault.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And as the business, you have the final say in that conversation.
Right.
There's a review and then a response.
Right.
And if you can strongly, articulate like, I was, I'm sorry you feel that way. We tried this, and this to help you out, but at the end of the day, there's nothing to do for us because of X reason. But thank you for your feedback. Something like that.
Yeah,
You
sure.
have the final way of framing that conversation that everybody's going to see. So if you can wrap it up with a nice bow, that's what people are going to see is the last comment in that thread.
especially if you're showing some form of empathy towards the person who's writing this negative comment, because a lot of times if I just see a response where they're just brushing it off and it's a very abrupt business answer, it's kind of like it detaches the person.
Okay.
So it makes it too corporate-y.
And I would say that you should be writing those yourself and not using a framework for
Yeah.
every because I've seen that where with apartment
Copy and paste,
complexes
copy and
where
paste.
exactly it's like the same exact thing they've replied to every negative comment, and it's obviously just a copy and paste, and it's like that is not genuine to me. So it's like they're not even it's almost like they're ignoring the issue.
So now on the same note, do you also look at the positive reviews and see if those are actually,
definitely,
in
yeah.
your opinion, written for real or
Yeah,
make believe?
I know an apartment that I lived at a while ago. I'm pretty sure they didn't make people. They tried to get people to write reviews, and they would offer like snacks and stuff. Like, oh, you wrote a review, like we'll give you a little gift card or like a snack or something. So, and you can definitely tell in those comments if it's like that. Like if everyone's just saying, oh, it's a great place and nothing else, or
Right.
it doesn't feel genuine, like, you can tell the difference. So it's yeah.
I saw
That's
an
okay.
agent one time who made a second from this office, by the way, who made a second Yelp account and reviewed themselves on Yelp, but didn't have the forethought to change the name.
Yeah.
So it said John Smith reviewed John Smith. John Smith is the best realtor from John Smith. It's
So, and this brings up a very valid point of people can see when we try to manipulate the system. And the systems out there, whether it be social media, marketing out there online, whatever the case may be, one of the most important things is transparency. We talked about consistency, but the second thing that I would think that ranks up there is transparency and being transparent. And, Daniel, you mentioned earlier, sometimes people are how they respond. But, sometimes for me, I come from a place of snarkiness a lot. And for me, I'm not feeling like I'm necessarily being genuine sometimes if, hey, somebody does something or says something or whatever the case may be, and I feel like it warrants that type of response. I don't want to also be the person that is pretending to be something or someone
Right.
that I'm not. So I think, yes, we want to be professional, but sometimes it's just,
And that kind of comes with the territory too.
Right.
Like, don't try and be something you're not. 'Cause
Right.
if you're known for the snarky comments and people like you for that, that's why people are going to hire you. So
Exactly.
don't try and be something you're not for sure.
That's what I was going to say earlier too, is there's sometimes that whenever the response is just too genuine, especially if I'm reading a bad review and it's like this person is just way out of line, and for me, I like somebody personally
Respond back to it.
who stands up for themselves a little bit more, and it just for me shows confidence, and the person who is selling it, or whoever I'm looking at the review for, knows that their product is good and knows that they're good at customer service, and that this person is so, like, to me that just portrays a little bit more confidence in their brand, I guess, rather than just letting people get away with, like, basically taking advantage of them. So,
Right.
like, it shows that you're willing to put your foot down a little bit more, and I think that for me portrays, that's something I look for sometimes. So it's not always about just
the customer isn't always right.
right. And
Yeah.
I feel like being genuine about that is okay also.
Right.
Not being too mean or harsh, but also, just being realistic, I guess, is
Right.
totally, something I look for. So
I don't know who came up with customer is always right.
I don't know who came up with
They're
that,
wrong.
but yeah,
Some stinking customer.
Yeah, they are so wrong that no, customer is not always right. So it's almost like, I think I say it. I'm always right. I'm not always right, but I like to think so. We got a few minutes left here. We got about 6 or 7 minutes before we come up on the hour. So what would you guys, in closing, and let's keep it on marketing, give me something of value that you think you can throw out there to the world when they're thinking about marketing and what they're doing. And it can be on from any place in your world of, give us one tip, one piece of advice. And I'll start with you, Chantel.
I'm going to say the same thing. Being consistent.
Okay.
It is like one of the most important things. If you are posting the same time every day, or you are streaming and you're going live the same time every day, every week, or, you're constantly commenting, you're constantly liking and putting yourself out there, it doesn't even have to be every day, but, multiple times a week, you're going to gain traction, and you will organically gain followers and gain interactions that way. If you're trying to build a presence online, you just got to be consistent and not give up on it. So
Sweet. All right. Liz.
Yeah, for me, I definitely think audience is a big thing, and knowing your audience. Just know who you're marketing to. And if you don't have a social media presence, you don't know how to go about that, find someone that does. And you can really create a lot of amazing stuff that is interesting to people. Like, there's Canva now. It's easy to create content for yourself. And, we can do that as well. But it's just know who you're marketing to, and keep that in mind at all times.
So, Liz, follow-up question. If I don't have a social media presence, so should I just open up a LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube?
Yeah, just start by creating the accounts, and then
Okay. But would your recommendation be to open them all?
I would probably start a little smaller,
Okay.
start with kind of the big ones, like Instagram, maybe Twitter, Facebook. YouTube is a good one. But, start small and kind of build up as you're creating. And you can always repurpose content as well for
Right.
different platforms. So if you make a post for Instagram, you can also repurpose it and put it on Facebook,
Right.
maybe even in a different way. But, it's good. It's probably better to start small if you haven't done it before.
So, and one of the other things I would say is it does not have to be real estate related. I've seen a lot of people that are trying to break into the, or that are breaking into the social media world and getting comfortable with it, but just doing something that you just enjoy, period. I've seen a lot of people have success in demonstrating their skills outside of real estate and just, creating, I know I'm thinking of a gentleman that comes to mind, I forget his name, but in San Diego, and he just reviews food trucks. Doesn't ever talk about real estate. He's become so well known on his blog posts and his pictures and everything and comments on from different food trucks and following them that people follow him, and then it turns into an, oh, by the way, what do you do? Do real estate, and because they like him for everything else that he's pushing out there, he's getting business from it. So it does not have to be, if you're trying to break into the social media world, it does not have to be real estate related.
Yeah, and that makes you more personable too. Like
Exactly.
you want to be a person as well, and relate to other people and their experiences. So when you do that, it's like they feel more comfortable coming to you, and like they feel like they can talk to you more.
Right. All right, Mr. Daniel.
So I'm going to piggyback a little on what Liz said too.
Okay.
I'm going to say definitely knowing your audience.
Okay.
But from the perspective of knowing who you're talking to. So if you're talking to people in Woodbridge, people in Turtle Rock, people who are a little bit older generation, don't hear everything we're saying and just throw traditional marketing to the wayside. Kind of sit down and figure out who your audience is and who you want to target to, and kind of build off of it from there. So I don't disregard things you're already doing. So if you're already flyering and farming and doing things like that, walking the neighborhoods, and people know you for that, don't just stop out of nowhere.
Right.
But do start incorporating some things in social media. So if you start slow and kind of build a new audience while maintaining the one you already have.
It's a valid point. So don't try to, an example I can give is don't try to appeal to the senior community on TikTok at this
Yes.
moment. Probably not going to work.
Yep. I mean, especially even people who have, a bunch of kids in school, especially with school starting to vet up, everyone has mom brain.
Right.
You're running around like crazy. They're probably not sitting on social media all day.
Right.
So if you're reaching them by, getting flyers out there about updates about school events or whatever, I mean, don't stop that. If it's working, keep using what's working.
Very valid point. So, I mean, if your marketplace is still in the mailbox or your marketplace is still in the newspaper or the magazine or whatever, then that's where you should be primarily. So, knowing your audience. Nathan.
I know they just said to not disregard traditional marketing,
Okay.
but I've been very in tune with like the marketing industry in general recently.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of best practices, where people outside of real estate are going, where's all the money flowing, and traditional marketing just isn't a job anymore. There's no job that does traditional marketing. It's
Right.
just it's gone.
Okay.
Everything is in digital, so we don't have to throw away all the flyers and the InDesign files and everything. But more and more every year, more of your customers are going to be on digital, and they're going to stop being on traditional print and newspaper and all that kind of stuff. So kind of at least dipping your feet in the water or trying to get a little more comfortable on it, I think is a necessity at this point.
Yeah, there's got to be like a transition period.
And it's funny. I don't even know if it's a transition period, because here's one of the. I'm pretty outgoing and stuff, and yet still I resist a lot of it. But if I looked at a lot of the marketing that agents are doing, and you guys can probably attest to this, if we looked and we picked an agent and we said, okay, you've got a successful business and you are pumping X amount of dollars into your marketing campaigns via geographic farming or newsletters that you're mailing or postcards or something like that. If we looked at that agent and then we also looked at their portfolio of the time, money, and effort that they're putting into digital marketing,
The split. is-
99 times out of 100, all the money is still, or majority of the money is still spent in more the traditional.
Right.
And not saying that that's right or wrong. What I'm saying is that we still haven't even respected the digital marketing part to the point where we are at least giving it equal value to see what the results are. I mean, in reality, if we really want to know which one's going to work better for us and what our better ROI is, if I'm spending $1,000 a month here, I need to be spending $1,000 a month here to do a true comparison. Because, digital marketing, yes, it's a whole lot more noise on the internet and things like that, but it's also a whole lot cheaper.
Your dollar goes a lot further on the internet.
Exactly. That's 25, 30 impressions per person for the dollar versus one impression in the mailbox for that same person for that same dollar.
And you can also see how many people are like really seeing those posts. Like with traditional, you don't necessarily know how many people are actually like taking that in. And a lot of people, if they get a postcard, they just throw it away.
Yes.
But online, we can see how many people are viewing these posts and how far it's reaching.
Very valid point. So Liz made a very good point that one of the other beauties of digital is you get immediate feedback. So yeah, you post something that didn't work, you get feedback right away.
You know it's working.
Yes,
It's not working.
Exactly. Whether the comments come in there, whether people are liking, sharing, doing whatever on, if you're running marketing, advertisement, and things like that, you get immediate feedback of the number of impressions that you get, click-through rates, and things of that nature. So you have an idea of what your dollars are actually doing, and you're getting feedback so that you can tweak that. Yeah, I send out the thing in the postcard, and don't even know if they got it or not. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We have to pick a winner. I don't know, Daniel. You normally throw this thing through a random thing, but since we're all online right now, I don't know if it's going to be easy to go through everybody here and figure out.
It's the last second for somebody to share and enter, right?
Last second for somebody share this someplace.
Share button at the bottom.
Share button, and Nathan is awesome in the chat. You could share that with your mom later. Look,
Right.
everybody thinks I'm
Or you can
awesome.
put Liz is awesome.
Or you can put Liz is awesome, yes. Actually, you can put any one of them are awesome. How's that? You can put, yes, Liz, Chantel, Daniel, or Nathan is awesome. And I tell you what we'll do is you want to do it now, or you want to give this another minute or two?
I think Daniel's putting it in right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
We're going to do it live on the air.
Oh.
So he's using his handy dandy random appetizer, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah, we like random generators,
Yes.
Spin the wheel and see what happens. One more.
Exactly.
There's another one here.
All right.
Taking a look at the shares. Should be on here somewhere.
Thank you, Michelle. Hey, we have
Yeah.
13 people watching and only 4 people shared. What's up with that? 5 people shared?
What's up with that? The odds just got better.
Can I share? Not the prize.
All right. should
6
we-
shares, right?
All right.
Are we ready to spin this wheel?
We are ready. Did you just get Luna? Luna just
I
dropped
did.
in. Okay.
All right, here goes nothing, everybody.
All right.
And Luna is the winner.
Oh, sweet. So that's kind of odd, right? Last one in. All right.
I promise I did it.
It's all good. So Luna, find me, or we'll find you with regards to that gift card from Amazon. And I just want to say thank you to you guys. Appreciate it. And looking forward to more wonderful things coming out there. Nathan is walking away from the mic because he's got to push the off button at some point. Yeah, this was all self-contained.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Don't
Thank
forget to check
you.
us out on YouTube and on Instagram.
Oh, I love it. There we go. Like,
Come
follow.
say hi, and the marketing department will
Yes.
be here.